Alright guys, so for the grand final in the AoE All-Stars Qualifier number 4, we've got Despair, also known as ingsoc, playing off against DivineDFP. So both of these guys have already qualified, along with the other two semi-finalists for the main event. I think this is largely just to determine their seedings. So we've got DFP spawning as English up against Despair on Delhi. Actually got some wood distance gathering here for Despair. He's already gone onto the mill, gone for the early mosque and for the early house. So I wonder if you're better off throwing down the lumber camp and then getting the house, if you can fit it in that way. But he's already gone for the scholar because he wants to get efficient production, and well, looks like he wants to get piety after that. Despair, hey? So we've got a rebrand here for ingsoc. Psyarch did it, so I'm gonna do it. Actually, did I say Psyarch? I meant Queen Nu, is it? Is that how you say it? Come on guys, stick to one username because it gets easy to follow. I know, I've played under other usernames as well, but that's in different games, man. Come on. It might be a bit of a slow early game for this one. I don't know if we're going to see a lot of action early on. Despair just distance gathering wood. One more trip, little fella, and it's all over. So nothing really interesting going on in Divine Space. Playing a pretty similar strategy to what he's been doing most of the game. Cancelling that second house because he doesn't need it just yet. A bit of a slip of the finger. I think he probably must have just thought he was an extra minute in. Because for now he doesn't need it. So Despair. Gonna throw down the Dome of the Faith, which lets him produce scholars at half price.
Here worked.
Now the second house goes down for Divine. He didn't quite need it there at the start. Wanted to get his 4 farmers to work before he starts. A couple of hunts here, pretty close to Despair's base. This one's pretty close to Divine. Well, this one's a little bit further away for him, but I think it's still enough out of the way for Despair that it's not going to be terribly easy for him to do run-bys off. Gold mines wise, well, this one's not too bad for Divine, neither is this one. Well, Despair, he's got this one over here. This one's a little bit further out of the way, and I mean, a couple of outposts here could make that hard to hold on to. And there's plenty of gold down here both our players are going to want to control. So we've had the Dome of the Fae finish up, so there's going to be scholars and more scholars for ingsoc, who's going to want to speed up his research time. So if he can get more scholars in there, these free upgrades. So upgrades are all free for Delhi, but they're all time gated. So everything takes 3 times as long to train, roughly. And the way to bring that down is to have a proportionate number of scholars to, I think, the number of eco techs you've got, or the number of techs you've got. So here we go, plenty more techs in the queue, but that first scholar is actually going to go in the stables because it's going to let the buildings pump out units at double the normal trade speed. So for 75 resources, the Dome of Faith is going to give you a scholar to basically double your train time at half the price of your production buildings. And on top of that, if you can get more scholars and park them in the Dome of Faith, he's going to be able to get these upgrades for free in behind this. But there's a council hall already out for DFP, so he's going to be going to age 2. But he's not going to really want to make any longbowmen, I don't think, because his opponent, having gone 4 horsemen to begin with, DFP is probably either going to want to go straight to age 3 or get a stables first. Oh, so the scholars are actually all leaving for some reason. Are they going to contest the sacred sites, perhaps? So, ingsoc going for a bit of a harass attempt, just locking up Despair's workers to try and get some damage onto them. That's plenty of gold gatherers. He really wants this fast age 3, and ingsoc's willing to throw away the horsemen for it. Because meanwhile, ingsoc's setting up to take the sacred sites, but he's got to be careful. That wolf's going to kill that scholar for free if he's not able to get something on it. So he's going to have to bring a scout across. And now, I don't know why, but for some reason he's able to capture the sacred sites. He wasn't till now, but all 3 of those went off at once. I have to find out why that was. For some reason ingsoc wasn't able to capture those sacreds till now, but then they all kicked in. And now he's going to get a little bit of gold out of each of them, as well as this is a win condition. If you can hold on to all these for long enough, you will win. But at the same time, he probably should bring back the scholars so he doesn't lose them. And because he can use it to speed up the gathering. I mean, speed up production, speed up his research. So he is just going to pump out some more scholars. And I mean, if he is going to go age 3 quickly here, I guess you could always try and get on the relics. DFP going for a really quick King's Palace. So Despair throwing away some horsemen to try and delay that King's Palace may have worked in his favour. It's meant that in the meantime his own gold gathering has been great with control of the sacreds, and now he can just get age 3 for his own, for the potential to capture the relics. He's going to need to get his own knights because DivineDFP is going to have them out on the map now. And he's going to use them to clean up individual sites and scholars. So this one's already parked next to the relic. This is what I was talking about. Because House of Learning is going to go up. So DFP going to capture back both of these sacreds, even this third one. So the scholar did fall there, but this one successfully did manage to get on the relic. I mean, it's hard trying to sneak this one back, but if he had have, ingsoc could have always got back onto this one, then taken the long way round, sort of cut through here. A bit like what this one's done here. So the one off the middle site and the one off the top side are going to be successful in stealing some relics. While DivineDFP for now hasn't worried about going for any relics, he's just worried about stables and houses at this point. Because he can steal back possession of all these sacred sites, deny the extra gold gathering. Deny the extra gold gain out of them. So which upgrades? Which upgrades is he actually going to go for here? Isn't queued me up, which is weird because they don't cost anything. So there's a few knights out here for just Divine. Despair's already got a tower alley, so ooh, he's gonna bring some scholars with the army just to keep the elephant sealed. And elephants can even attack walls, and the few units that can attack the stone walls. Not that you really see a lot of them at this level of play. Well, that one knight's going to get picked off, so that's a nice kill there for ingsoc. And Divine really needs to try and focus down the individual alleys, but it's hard to do so without having a lot of, I guess, crossbowmen or just that many knights you can just surround them. But ooh, these scholars are a bit brave here. They're going to get picked off. Oh, the tower alley with a couple of spears into support are able to save the day. DivineDFP raiding both sides of ingsoc's base right now, forcing a bit of gathering loss and getting a couple of villages over on this side. This has been really smart. But now he's not going to be able to stick around too much longer. I think he's going to pick up that last spearman and get out of there. So nice raid there. And even over this side, getting out losslessly, denying some gathering time. Sacred's back under ingsoc's control. And so ingsoc with a fourth relic here, and the fifth is still out in the map. There hasn't been a monastery yet for Divine. So ingsoc's gold income is going to be quite nice behind this. Be doing it without having to worry about a whole lot of villages on mines, which he's going to need at this point because he has only got the one town centre to his opponent's two. But he's going to cap this bottom site. Just needs to add a house in somewhere. But Divine looking in great shape. Great spending at the moment. Almost nothing in the bank. And he's added in crossbowmen. So he's really going to be able to punch holes in the tower alley and in any lances that might come out. Second tower alley on the way and a third in production. These things are so expensive though. So DFP trying to go for a fight here. He knows he's probably got a bit of a ranged advantage until the second tower alley comes in. So he's going to try and take down all the spearmen first. And now he's really going to be able to tear down the Ellies. And they're hightailing it out of there. So Ingsoc's got to be careful to not lose them to us around here. He does have the scholars in to heal them, but there's enough crossbowmen to tear down individual scholars. So ingsoc trying to micro these ranged mobile attackers as best he can, but the knights are a little bit faster. Does have some horsemen into support now, but they aren't going to last terribly long against that many crossbowmen. And now neutralizing the site. He still hasn't got his own monastery or any of his own siege yet. Hasn't got siege engineering yet either. But he's in a good spot, Divine. He's managed to push despair off both these sites. Neither player's looking at contesting the top one. Divine gonna creep forward. While Despair gonna try walling this off just to sway any run-bys of knights or packs of crossbowmen. A nice number of these tower rallies though for Despair at the moment. He has both of his ranged armor upgrades already, and one of his ranged damage upgrades with the second one coming in. Well, upgrades for our friend DivineDFP. He's got ranged armor 1, and he's got ranged armor 2 and melee armor 1 in production. So Despair looking at creeping forward here. Wants to try and maintain possession of these sacred sites if he can, because particularly while he's only on one town centre to his opponent's 2. So he's at 52 eco pop, 73 for DivineDFP. The King's Palace really paying for itself. These are going to be hard to deal with though, so Despair I'm going to try pushing. Divine trying to shuffle his army back. He wants to try and engage his opponent as best he can here. Rely on getting some help from static defense, get a handful more units out before he takes the fight. But he can snipe a tower rally. That's great for him. ingsoc doing a good job at saving this tower rally over here. DFP not wanting to over commit with the knights because there's a lot of spearmen there. But meanwhile, all the spearmen seem to be going down now, so now Divine makes his move with the knights, while most of the spearmen are at the other side of the army. He's got a good connection with a few of the tower rallies there. But ingsoc has got some more spears heading through now, making it unattractive for DFP to stick around. Now there's a lot more of a front line, so ingsoc really committing to this though, but I think Divine's got enough. There's a lot. Oh, there's not a lot of a front line left now. These tower rallies have really brought everything to their knees. The knights all going to fall, but there's stacks of crossbowmen here in the background. Man-at-arms coming out for ingsoc as well. He's looking at bringing some vills up. I think he wants to go for an aggressive keep, but it's not going to work anywhere near as well as I thought. As well as he thought, I think. Even though he's managed to clear out all the knights, he just doesn't have enough to take down all the crossbowmen. But the keep, ooh, that's a lot of villagers here, so... Is he going to go for the vills rather than going for the tower rally? Yeah. But ingsoc really probably should not have committed to that because he's lost a few vills now. He's going to try again now that he's got another tower rally in the mix. But this first one is going to fall. And now there's a bunch of vills here to defend for Divine. So ingsoc, a bit caught with his pants down. These vills are going to have to retreat. And I think he's already lost quite a significant amount. He's back under 50 vills. DivineDFP is up to 75. So the vill difference has grown to 25. And on top of that, it's a loss of gathering, even for these guys that are still alive. So things are looking really scary for Despair at the moment. I'd be in despair as well. But will the Vill bait be enough? These tower rallies probably need to focus down the crossbowmen, I guess. So there's one tower rally left alive, and GG, DivineDFP is the champion of the qualifier.